the enrollment rate of the high caste is twice that of scheduled caste. Intercaste inequality still persists. So one of the problem is that the enrollment ratio of scheduled caste is still less despite this policy. Can you go to the second? Here I have, go again, ahead. Keep it here. This gives you enrollment ratio of caste by their income level. Now you can, these are two conclusions. One conclusion is that among the scheduled castes, the enrollment rate is lower for low income compared to the high income of scheduled castes. Quite obvious, naturally. But there is one more point that must be remembered here. This data tells you that the scheduled caste, scheduled tribe, high caste and OBC of a similar income, please listen to me, of a similar income, they have same income, and yet the enrollment of ST and SC is less than that of OBC and high caste. Even for the higher income group, if you take higher income group scheduled caste, OBC and high caste, even for the higher income group of scheduled caste, the enrollment rate is lower compared to the higher income group of high caste. Now our Honorable former Chief Justice said, Sri Gavi Saab, that IS officer of scheduled caste are same as IS officer of high caste. What does this data show? This doesn't show that. This shows that there are some additional disadvantage of the even economically better of IS officer compared to the high caste. And therefore, this discrimination of the high caste is not taken into account when they make the argument for the criminal layer and all that. I will have this point later on, sometime at a later date. Please go to the factors. Go ahead. These are the gaps. I have told you that generally speaking, low income group and casual labor have low enrollment. In social group, the enrollment is lower among SC, ST and Muslim and female as compared to the high caste. These are the disparities. This disparity still continues. And all new economic policy measures that I have discussed with you, how it will further reduce the access of the scheduled caste and scheduled tribe, it's quite clear. Please go ahead. Now, these are the causes. Then alternatively, the low income and caste background is the cause for the low enrollment of the scheduled caste. But the important point that I want to convey and stop it here is that, go ahead please. Go ahead. Stop here. This is the econometric exercise. Because you are a medical student, you know mathematics. That if we take the same income group of scheduled caste and high caste, and we believe that their enrollment should be same, as has been argued by the Honorable Justice. But when we do the exercise, what we find that no, the enrollment of the scheduled caste economically better off, not necessarily the only IS officer, economically better off, top 20% scheduled caste is lower than that of a top 20% of high caste. Why? If they have the same income level, they should have similar enrollment rate. The reason is here that because this exercise, what this exercise does is the following. It picked up the economically similar group from high caste and scheduled caste. And also other characteristics. How many members in the family, what is the education of the head of the parent and other things. Similar group from the scheduled caste, similar group from the high caste. And then propose a hypothesis the enrollment rate should be same. But that's not the case. There is a difference. The reason is about 54% is because of the normal factor. That education of the head of the household is low, your income sources are different and all that. But the 36% of difference between scheduled caste and scheduled tribe is because of discrimination. And I have done other studies that this other book of mine, there are 3 books which have come about 2 months before. They will be discussed, I think, on 17th of next month. The association has put up a function. Please come there. These 3 books will be discussed. But before that, I had another book before that, scheduled caste and labor market, discrimination and its impact on poverty. What we discovered there, that in employment and hiring, there is a discrimination of scheduled castes. And then what I did the income level and studied the extent of discrimination. What we discovered in the private sector, discrimination of higher income group, higher income post is more than the lower income post. They would like to have you in lower income post, class 3, class 4. But when it is a question of higher post, the scheduled castes are discriminated. Discrimination is not related with your economic standing. Discrimination is related to your caste background. You are MBBS from Nagpur University or from anywhere else. When the post come and opportunity come, caste biases come. In some cases, it may not come, but there is a general. But statistically, we have found that there is a discrimination faced by the economically better off section, occupying a better position in the private sector. And therefore, there is a whole lot of data that you go and see the caste composition of Kirloskar, you go and see the caste composition of the other corporation dominated by Gujaratis. The Kirloskars, it's not take a personal name, but earlier studies, 10 years studies find out that half of them are Marathas and Brahmin, much higher than their proportion in the population. So I think this is the reason for the inequality is twofold. That is your income, but your caste discrimination as well. So I am not going into I will end with that, but I will finish and make some suggestion and stop about what should be the policies. Can you go ahead, please? Go ahead. Go ahead. Go ahead. Go ahead. Go ahead. There is a statistic on Maharashtra which I have dropped. Similar conclusion is there. Go ahead. 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 Stop here. What are the views of Ambedkar, Baba Saheb Ambedkar, on this issue of inequality? And in the context of new education policy. Please go to the next page. Baba Saheb recognized lack of education among the lower castes due to denial of right to education. Consistently mentioned. It's not a new point. There is a report by him in 1929, which was done, committee which was done during the Simon Commission, and he has given that the education began in British period only in 1854, not in 1813 when it was open to everybody. That is why in round table conference he alleged of Britishers that you have been discriminating against the scheduled caste. Second is recognize the need to have access to education to lower caste, Shudra and Dalit. Recognize the prime role of the government in education of Dalit and Adivasi. The government institution, not privatization. Please go. Emphasize that education should be with central and the state government and not with the local bodies. He was against having an education with municipalities and Jilla Parishad because they lack resources. It should be the responsibility of the central and the state government. Set up education institution for Dalit and minorities. Separate. He also favored special institutions, but other are also allowed. Millen College of Arts, where I was educated, 90% of the students were scheduled caste, but the rest of them were also allowed. Recognize the role of education, knowledge, skill and moral education. Dr. Ambedkar emphasized on profession and skill education and also value education. There are other measures which he has suggested in 1925 Bombay University Act. When the Act came for a reform, Dr. Ambedkar was asked to give his opinion. Please go ahead. Go ahead. This is a quote I would like to read for you about Baba Saheb. I feel that we are arriving at a stage when lower order of a society are just getting in high school, middle school and colleges, and the policy of education department therefore ought to be make higher education as cheap to the lower classes as is possible. Now this suggestion of his goes against the massive privatization which is expensive in Maharashtra and elsewhere. Now let us go to the next page. Now these are my recommendations. First is that the enrollment rate and access to school education is low. I have not said much of the school education because Sundari has mentioned, but I will make one point. The strategies which are used for higher education are also used for the school education. Right to Act says that the school should be in the vicinity of the village, walking distance. The Commission has recommended consolidation of the school into a larger school. In a larger village, there should be one school from primary, upper primary, secondary, higher secondary, and the school where there are less than 20 students and less than 2 teachers should be closed. Now, how many thousand schools have been closed? Should they be in Maharashtra?
Maharashtra, they have proposed
Maybe about 25,000 for now, you imagine the impact of the access. Impact of the access of girls. And skill education is also at that level. So there are many policy suggestions in the curriculum, school level, which will apply. There is another point which I have forgotten. The curriculum framework, only I have mentioned with you Brahmanization, teaching, but there is another aspect that present curriculum framework, the courses are such that it involve specialization. First year you have general courses, but as you go down to the second and third year, you specialize depending on your aptitude. Here the entire curriculum is not specialized, it's a general courses. As a result, the employability gets reduced. There is a heavy impact on employment because of this. Anyway, let us come to the policies. My suggestion would be that the low income and casual labor are the group, irrespective of caste, whose endowment rate is low because of the expensiveness of the education. Free ships, scholarship, hostel should be made available to them. This policy is there today, but it is inadequate. Privatization, it has to be discouraged. The privatization, if in future it is the government and private aided institutions should be promoted. Difficult policy because privatization has a political economy. Political economy means what? You have economics as well as politics. That is, all those private universities and the colleges which are started are owned by those who control power, political power. So they won't change it because they benefit out of their policy. Why should they change it? That's called political economics. But at least if privatization is continued, at least then all those who get admission on merit, they should be supported fully. Tuition fee, hostel and maintenance all should be given. There is also, through our research, we have discovered that if the head of the household is less literate, the education level is low. So those households should be given a special financial assistance. Large families should be given a financial assistance because their income, low income get distributed among these. We should set up a corporation of the loan, education loan. At the moment, what is there? You go to the bank and government will give you subsidy on interest. Bank won't give the loan if you don't have a subsidy. Canada and Australia have set up a public finance corporation to give loan in education. And loan is given, whatever loan you want, but you will repay after you get an employment. Within 15 years or 10 years. It's easy. That we are not following here. I have made that recommendation from Karnataka government. They set up the finance corporation with a public-private partnership. No harm. The corporate social responsibility funding can be put by the private sector into that corporation, but give the loan liberally without interest, payable after you get the job, so that you make the education relatively easy. Please go ahead. Now the social group problem. Whose endowment rate is low? Women, ST, SC and Muslim. Now all those policies which are required for low income groups should also be applied to women, ST, SC and Muslim. That includes free shift, scholarship and Muslim. We have at the moment policies, the post-matric scholarship, but it is useful, but it is internal. These are the sections. The last thing I will submit, please go ahead. Now one of the major problems which has appeared in the last 10 to 15 years is the discrimination of the scheduled caste in higher education institutions, particularly scheduled caste and scheduled tribe and religious minority, and also women. But there is a considerable evidence of caste discrimination resulting into suicide. Now please go ahead. this I would like you to go ahead. Go ahead. As a member of the health education system, I would like you to listen to this carefully. That how discrimination is the additional factor for the low enrollment and the poor performance of the scheduled caste students, irrespective of their economic background. Remember, although suicide have been committed, children were from economically better background. Solom Ki who committed suicide in IIT Mumbai, his father was an officer. Two students in JNU who committed suicide, both of them came from a relatively economically better background. So the argument made by Chief Justice of India that discrimination disappeared along with your economic upbringing is not valid. I have given the statistics for that. Now, these are the studies of discrimination which I would like to quickly share and probably 4 studies. All India Institute of Medical Science 2008, Central and State Government University 2015, National Institute of Education Training and Administration 2017, survey by IIT Mumbai on SC/ST cell on caste discrimination and impact on health, psychological. Please go to the next page. When there was the suicide in All India Institute of Medical Science, I was chairman of the EDC, the health secretary of the central government came to me that we want to set up a committee and look at the reason as to why scheduled caste students are committing suicide. I asked my education minister, don't accept it because they won't do it. I said, sir, we have come with a lot of hope and they also feel that I should. He said, okay, go ahead, and I chaired that committee. Very difficult to get information from our Institute of Medical Science. There was a director or Nair, I think, at that time, very difficult person. But I circulated a questionnaire to 25 students, there were 50 students, and got that information. And the kind of discrimination that I found is, please go ahead. Before that slide, before, yes. We asked the question about the experience of caste discrimination of SC student by teacher, high caste student by student, and discrimination by administration, in classroom, in lab, in hostel, in peer group, in cultural function, and hostel. Please go ahead. Now these were the statistical results. It was the first study, remember, we are not only medical institute in the country, and no methodology, but I developed the methodology. Now, 69% did not consult for difficulties. Students did not show a courage to go and talk to the teacher. 72 reported discrimination in lab. 76% bias in evaluation. 88% in mark obtained. 84% in Viva. 85 reported less time by the teacher during lab assessment, and 76% examiner asked question related to caste background. Now, I think there is a lot of things I do not want to go. Please go ahead. I will avoid this. Please go ahead. In dining and all other hostel segregation was very reported in All India Institute of Medical Science. The scheduled caste boy room was bolted from outside, and then finally somehow it was open. And students, because of discrimination, will gradually move to a wing where there are a lot more scheduled caste students. Anyway, please go ahead. Then NIPA study. This is a very important study because this study also a college from Nagpur. NIPA study, National Institute of Education Planning and Administration. Again, I don't want to repeat. It came with a similar finding of casteism. Go to the next page. Go to the next page. Now go back. Casteism starts from the very first day of the campus. That's what the students say. Attempt to know the caste. So they are asked, what is your G rank? If the rank is low and you have still got the admission, it means you are scheduled caste. These are the ways of asking the caste background. Once caste is known, humiliation begins. Anti-reservation sentiment. Go to the next page. These are empirical studies. Victim of stereotypes, stigma, quota students, low merit, lazy, unhygienic, assume humiliation and look down upon because of this. Please go ahead. And this develop guilt, outing identity, spread of caste background, opinion are discarded in the classroom when their opinion are expressed, associating weak academic performance with caste slurs, asking surname, humiliation related to scholarship, making counseling open. You know, the scheduled caste student goes and seek counseling. And there are caste question and the student will say that I am humiliated. Those are put on the website. And so everybody knows. They are put on social media and open comments. Go to go to next. No, a page before that. Yes, exclusion from friendship. Guilt. I think I have shared with you. Please go ahead. Go ahead. This is a statement by a student in case studies. IIT Mumbai. Let me read you for very sensitive. Everyone in the academic office, particularly Mr. Narun Thakur, once insulted me in front of everyone for my academic performance. He asked me about my grade. He himself said, "This is what you bring here. Look at this. What is this? Looking at this, no one will support you. Even Dean also will reject your request for late fee payment." That day when this man smashed me in one of the bad days of my life, and that day I felt very bad and I cried a lot and I got some very bad thoughts in my mind, but somehow passed and fades. That is a bad thought of committing the suicide. Go ahead, please. Go ahead. This is again the finding discussion with the woman. SC and ST women more prone to gender bias and stereotype. This NIPA study brings out derogatory comment. Kota se aayo ya kote se aayo. Are you from Kota or are you from Kota? These are in the report. Please go ahead. So what are the solutions? The solutions are, I have suggested in the Karnataka report, I am repeating here. The solutions are that you need a law. There is a law at the moment, Regulation 2012 of equity in education, but that doesn't help much. So what we require a law on the pattern of ragging. You know, ragging was a nuisance 6-7 years before. When we brought that law, ragging has been almost reduced to zero simply because ragging is considered a criminal act. Your entire career is disturbed. So we need a legal safeguard, a law for treating the discrimination in education institution a criminal act. Then we also need a course on moral education, not the course on moral education based on biomedical value. We have recommended a course for Karnataka on moral education based on the value in Constitution. Full length content is given. The preamble should be taught, the fundamental rights should be taught, the duty of the citizen should be taught, and all that. And so that student will turn out to be a person who will respect the Constitution. The other thing is reservation in private sector. The private sector is going at such a fast rate that it is overtaking the government sector. And discrimination is persistent there in the private sector also. The UPA 2 government had a constitutional amendment, an Article 16(5) or 1? 16 allow the reservation in the private unaided institution. But it leave it to the state government to pass regulation. No state government has taken a decision for last 20 years. This is the attitude of the state government. But we do require, and we also require remedial courses for the scheduled caste student. The bulk of the scheduled caste students come from, poor school and poor colleges, and they do not perform. So they require a special academic assistant for them. I think these are some of the findings that I wanted to share with you. There are a lot more, but thank you and sorry for taking too much of time.
Excuse me, sir. Can I just take your 5 minutes and share experience?
Please. But we are asked.
Yeah. if he organizes the love.
You be there. You be there.
Yeah.
Tell me.
I'll come near. Sir, my son was in standard 10 and supposedly in schools where we pay more than 1.5 lakhs per year, excluding the transport. And during this Ganpati Sthapna, so they took an assembly of 1 hour on the Ganpati Sthapna and the history of everything. After that, when they asked him to go to the classroom, and they asked कि भाई अपना बैग और चप्पल रख के आ जाओ, and we will have a आरती down again. And my son is topper in the class. There are 34 sections. So he was just worried. He wanted to do mathematics. So he just went to the class teacher and he just asked politely, कि ma'am, is it mandatory to attend the आरती? So that teacher, she was Bumble by name, she got enraged and she said, ki, Samyak, how did you ask this question? You have to come with me to the supervisor. Until then, sir, my son was favorite, supposedly favorite of everybody because he was the, you can say, banner boy of the school. Because he's playing chess, he's playing piano, he is everywhere. But after that, they took my son to the supervisor, the class teacher. फिर supervisor ने उसको बहुत ज्ञान पिलाई कि you are not secular, you are not respecting gods, you don't know how to respect gods, then you have to come with me to the principal. Now principal Saddev. Now my son said he has a very clear identity as a Buddhist, as an Ambedkarite. So he's very confident on that. So this Saddev, she started Samyak, why are you not coming for the aarti? So Samyak was polite enough. He said, ki, ma'am, I did not deny. I just asked a question. Had the class teacher said, ki, it's mandatory to attend, I would have gone. As everybody is going. I just asked the option that if it is mandatory, and he was clear enough with the principal. Ki, I don't understand ABC of that Ganesh Aarti, and I do not understand anything. Then some argument happened, sir, and then he said, ki, ma'am, as we are celebrating Ganesh Sthapna, why we are not celebrating Eid, why we are not celebrating Christmas, why we are not celebrating Buddha Purnima in the same zeal as we are celebrating everything like this. So he was clear enough. And then he spoke about the preamble also, which is written in every book and आपल्या खोब्रागडे सरांच्या effort मुळे जे काही झालं. So he's very clear with the secularism and liberty and all this. The principal got so enraged, sir. To a 15-year-old child, she spoke, what are you, Samyak Pazare? What are your achievements? The school doesn't need you. And that day when he came home and when we met in the evening, so I just found from his face, he was all red, he didn't speak. But he felt so insulted. I just asked him, Bete, what happened? And then he was all red in eyes, tears, and he just told me, his school principal said, Ki, what are you, Samyak Pazare? The school doesn't need you. Now, Mama, I have to show them what is Samyak Pazare. But this child, I take it as a childhood trauma, sir. पण मग मी त्याला कसं पॅसिफाय केलं? कारण माझ्याजवळ त्यावेळेस काय होतं, काहीच नव्हतं की मी त्याला कशी पॅसिफाय करणार आहे. Son of supposedly elite class in the society, father is pediatrician, mother is a practicing surgeon, and he is insulted like this. मी म्हटलं, बेटे तू फक्त बाबासाहेब वाच की त्यांनी जितके अपमान सहन केले असतील आणि त्यांना जितकं वाईट वाटलं असेल, how those insults affected him and what he became. Rather than going into depression and negativity, you have to take it as a challenge and show them what is Samyak Pazare. And obviously he was a banner boy and he was the topper of the school in the all the prelims and finally CBSE. तर हे सर असं आहे at the school level. With my younger one also, तेव्हा I was very enraged. मला असं वाटलं की मी प्रेस घेऊन जावं आणि त्या सगदेवला एक्सपोज करावं. But my younger child is also there and सम्याच्या परीक्षा होत्या त्यामुळे मी गेले. when I speak to Samyak sir, in a class, those days it was maybe 200 candidates of standard 10, तर त्यांचा एक बी ग्रुप होता, व्हॉट्सअप ग्रुप. आणि म्हणजे the ideology of RSS has percolated to the schools also, to the teenagers, that they have a big group and they study together and they decide on. उसमें गर्ग है, द्विवेदी है, शर्मा है, वर्मा है, all these. आणि they study together आणि ते आपले प्रॉब्लेम्स सॉल्व्ह करतात. आणि जर का तुम्ही सम्यक पझारे पाहाल तर सम्यक पझारे सारखी फक्त एक किंवा दोन मुलं आहेत त्या पूर्ण इलिट शाळेमध्ये, की दोज हू कॅन रिअली शाईन. मग आता राहिली माझी छोटी, शी इज इन स्टँडर्ड 8 वेन शी वॉज. तर तिथे सर असे म्हणायचे की आमच्याच फॅमिलीचे 2-3 अजून कझन्स आहेत, म्हणजे स्टँडर्ड 8च्या मुलं पण, अरे तू तो मेरे साथ इसलिए बैठ के खाना खा रहा ना, रिजर्वेशन है इसलिए तू मेरे साथ बैठ के खाना खा रहा. दीज आर द वर्ड्स द क्लास is speaking to that boy who is in standard 8. So this is the level of percolation of the ideology of RSS to up to the teenagers.
Thank you very much.
Yes sir. So I would like all of us to just share if the kids are really suffering at the school level, this kind of insights.
I also want to. Can you come here?
Thank you.
So this is from there.
What's the name of the school?
Yeah, we have
I don't know if I should say or not.
You
I should say it's Delhi Public School, Nava.
Okay, you come here. No, I think it's so nice of you that you are sharing your experience. You cannot share this experience. I must say that what we know is the nature of discrimination in the higher education institutions because of 4-5 studies. We have much less idea what is going on in the school, and particularly what is going on among the female students. So I think that is a complete dark area, and yours is a classical example as to what kind of discrimination is there in the school. We need to study it and develop policies. I have not recommended, but we need policies for the school also. And the most important point you have brought out is that I don't want to name the justice quite frequently, but in the Supreme Court judgment it is recommended reservation only once. Maybe your husband has taken a reservation in one way or other. He is the second generation. Your son is the second generation facing a discrimination. Doesn't he require a protection in the form of law and in the form of reservation? And second, your son is from an economically better background, yet he suffered from discrimination. So discrimination is neutral to economic standing because it's based on the caste. I think it's a very important point. We have to do studies. I set up a research institute in the Institute of Delic Studies and undertaken all these studies on discrimination and other things. But now the government has withdrawn FCRA, government has withdrawn private funding, and but that's okay. We are still doing. But I think we need to study. The one way is to expand the research from the private institution, because government institution and other institution will not do, and bring the problem in front of everybody so that policies can be developed. But the first stage is to prove that there is a discrimination. Then we can suggest the policies. Please, other picture. Now I'll ask Anup Kumar to just a minute, sir. You just ask Anup Kumar to just summarize and conclude. Please come. Yeah. Yeah, summarize. In few minutes,
I will take
we are
a
running
couple of
short
minutes.
of time.
My name is Anup Kumar, and I'm a teacher, basically community teacher. And me and my friends Nilesh and Kapil were also here. We run an academy called Nalanda Academy in Vardha, and we have been running it since last 13 years. And as sir has mentioned, today it's a very fortunate day for me because sir has taught me. I was his student in JNU. So me and my friends have been working on issues of caste discrimination since long, and we have made documentaries, we have fought court cases, we have done a lot of lot of things, but after a point in 2013, it was very clear for us that this battle is going to be very hard because the caste is deeply embedded in our education system. It's not that these are not just one incident, one student. There is a structural problem. We all have suffered from that. And what we thought was, we have tried everything. We fought court cases, we have organized protests, we did a lot of things, but ultimately what we understood that the responsibility of fighting this caste discrimination or whatever discrimination that we face rests on us. We have to build our own support system, we have to build our own educational institutions, we have to create role models for our kids so that when the kids, these are students, when they enter into the higher education, they have role models, they have support system. So that is where we started this Nalanda Academy since last 13 years, and we have been teaching our kids. Mostly we take kids who are from rural areas because I am a second generation literate. My father was a lawyer. I come from a relatively privileged background. All my brothers and sisters are class 1 officers. So I thought that being the youngest, I have a duty that at least one person should be able to pay back to the community because we are all product of Baba Saheb and we have benefited. You know, my third generation, my sons, daughters, children are in France and Singapore. So we have taken so much benefit from the movement, from Baba Saheb movement, that some of us have to, pay back. So we are trying to pay back in the sense that I have been fortunate to be educated in top universities and I have studied in a top school from UP. So I have been fortunate to get that kind of access to knowledge. So it's now my duty to give that kind of information and knowledge to our kids. So last 13 years we have been doing it. We have trained so far 2,000 students and all of them are studying in top universities. 60 of our students are in foreign countries now, and all of them are from non-English medium background. We take students who are dropout, we take students whose parents are very poor, labor class, so we take such students because this is also our fight against this concept of merit, right? For us, merit means opportunity. Merit does not represent your marks in your exam. Your marks in exam comes, of course, I'm not saying that getting good marks doesn't require labor, hard work. It requires hard work, but it's also, there are so many other factors so that are involved to become so-called good student, right? Suppose, I just will give one example that if you see the results, all the students who get 95% plus 99%, 98% are from elite institutions, are from elite colleges, are from elite backgrounds. Why a student from Jharkhand, from a village in Jharkhand, or from a village in Odisha, or from a village in Bihar or UP is not able to get score 99%? Does it mean that the merit only resides in Delhi, Bangalore, Nagpur? No. It's all about opportunity also. There will be hundreds and thousands of students who are as good as anyone, but their parents are so poor, they don't have separate study rooms, they don't have that kind of resources, and they score 65%. So in my opinion, these students getting 65% they are much more meritorious than those students who are getting 99%, residing in top, in metro cities and coming from privileged background. So in this sense, that in Nalanda Academy we are challenging this notion of merit also, that everybody, has the same, if given a chance, given an opportunity, everybody can shine. It's not only that only few can shine. So this is what we do. And right now we are building our own campus, and I'm very proud to say that this whole Nalanda Academy project is community run. It is run by the Ambedkarites. It is funded by the Ambedkarites. We don't take money from the government. We don't take money from NGOs. We believe that it's our duty. Those who have got benefited from the movement, it's now their duty to pay back to the community in the sense of investing in our future generation. Because I believe any community can only become strong when they are forward looking, when they invest in the future. And that is what we are trying to do. Thank you so much. It's an opportunity. And I will thank Dr. Sanjay and conversation, sir. And it's an honor, sir, to be shared dance with you, sir. Thank you so much. Jai Bhim.
Yeah, I did not tell you because I really forgot his presence here. He is the one who wrote an article on 14 suicide cases in a book edited by Satish Deshpande, and he proved that the major reason for the 14 suicide cases by the scheduled caste was because of the caste discrimination and humiliation. But I think he is now, after having done that, he is doing something very positive, which is very important.
Thank you.
Thank you, Anup Kumar sir, for your this noble cause. We all are very proud of you, and we all will definitely help you in this your endeavor. And I really thanks Dr. Thoras sir for enlightening us in details and in an academic way in the insight of the policy 2020 and its political influences. Here we recognize the presence of Advocate Payal Kobragadi madam, Gaikwad madam, who is helping us, helping all of us. For we request Thoras sir to kindly Thank you, Payal madam, for coming. And I request our secretary, Mohan Tambe to kindly conclude with vote of thanks.
Before that, I just want to say one sentence with your permission. The experience narrated by Dr. Pazari, what I said about the implementation, impact of this policy at the beginning in that case, it is being seen and now experienced by the people like Dr. Pazari sir. So that is the yield that is sucking our society and the masses at large. So the only remedy is to challenge this policy before the court. And I again request you to consider this Bahu very sincerely and jump so that it prevents such instances. There should be, as Dr. Thoras said, there should be some law for such things. So the thing will probably come prompted by the judiciary, hopefully. So that's what I wanted to respond. Thank you.
Respected Honorable Speaker, Chairperson, distinguished guests, respected all the BAHO members, ladies and gentlemen. On behalf of BAHO, it is my proud privilege to propose a vote of thanks. First of all, we express our sincere gratitude to our esteemed Speaker, Honorable Professor Sukhdev sir, Sukhdev Thorat sir, and our Sukhdev sir. We are deeply thankful to both of you for sharing your valuable thoughts and insights on our important topic, new education policies. Your guidance has enriched our understanding and inspired all of us. We are extremely grateful to our chairpersons, Dr. Kapade sirs, Anup Kumar sirs, Arvind Gedam sirs, for guiding the sessions with its experience and wisdom. We also thank all the respected BAHO members and their participants, and Dr. Anil Hirekar sir, Registrar, Gondwana Universities, who took time out for their busy schedule to attend this program and make this successful. It is a sincere thanks to Dr. Sujit Bagre sir for conducting the smooth programs. With this, I once again thanks all these and conclude the vote of thanks. Thank you.